welcome to another video. I have something interesting to talk about today. But first, I want to say thank you to everyone who is by far subscribed to this channel. It's a very small amount of you guys, but I am very grateful that you continuously want to watch the content that I put out. I believe this is the fourth video that I'm gonna be putting out there. But it's just been so fun watching this channel grow, and I don't know exactly which direction it's going in, but I'm very excited. I have exciting, bigger things planned for this podcast channel, and I'm just excited to see it grow. There's still a lot of things that I'm figuring out creatively in terms of the length of my videos, the type of editing, if I want to add subtitles or not, but that fun part, I'll save that for, my own work to do. If there's something that you enjoy from this channel, let me know. If there's something that you guys don't enjoy, let me know. They're all welcome. I'm just really excited to be doing this because, like I said, I'm not on social media right now, and I'm in my self-isolation period, so this is the only creative outlet that I have besides hanging out with my friends. But it's just I have a really fun time doing this over the weekend or when I have the time. But anyway, so today's topic is about exploring other options. If you've had a partner who left the relationship that you're in because they said they want to see what's out there and they can't commit to you 100%, or whatever excuse they make, it's all comes down to the fact that there's so many more people in the world, and people find it hard to commit. That's the bottom line. And I thought that this was the perfect time to talk about this topic specifically because the Netflix show Perfect Match finished releasing its season 2, and I have seen season 1 and season 2, and it's just been so much fun and entertaining. All the drama and all the psychology behind it, the strategies that they've used. I think it's very educational, and I want to talk about a specific couple, Kaz and Micah. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, take a look at it. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty fun. But Kaz and Micah are, to give you a background story, they are one of the longest standing couple in the show, and they were pretty strong in the beginning until the middle part where insecurities start to come out and people are getting introduced into the house, and then Cass was set up on a date with another girl, and that further aggravates the situation and the relationship. And Micah, everything is cause and effect. Micah starts developing these trust issues with Kaz, and that pushes Kaz's buttons and makes him want to explore what's out there, which is something that allegedly he mentioned to Brighton, which is one of the other cast members in the show. And I was pretty disappointed with the way Kaz handled the situation towards the end. Obviously, it's not a one-person blame. Micah definitely played a role in the outcome of their relationship, but it takes two to tango. So eventually they have a falling out, but then ultimately Cass comes back and asks for Micah back, and the show goes on. So let's talk about Cass and Micah. They are the epitome of every other person, like every other relationship out there. They're very relatable, and this is something that happens so commonly around us, and especially in our own lives, that it's easy to overlook. But there's so much learning to do. There's so much to unpack from their relationship and how it was presented, on the show, that I think it's really helpful to talk about it. So if you have a partner right now who is showing signs of dryness or distance, or interest in other people that's not you, then I say you reconsider staying in that relationship and probably even leave the relationship. You know why? Because that's not showing 100% commitment. And I know there's an argument about this of, you can be 100% committed to another person but still find other people attractive. I get that. It's completely normal and it's a valid argument. But it's different when a guy starts showing signs that they don't want to be with you, and we're not super oblivious. We have our own instincts and we have our own feelings, and we can tell these things, but sometimes we choose not to pay attention to these signs because you'd rather believe that it's gonna work, and that's a good practice too, but sometimes you have to know what's good for you and for the relationship. So if a person, you know, wants to leave their relationship, let them leave. Because you are too precious to stay in a relationship where somebody only chooses you when it's convenient for them. You're way too precious. You're just wasting your time, your energy, your resources on this relationship that's not giving you what you want and what you need. I am all for communicating well and stating to your partner the things that you expect, your standard, and all of that. I am all for that, but at the same time, it's not your responsibility to walk someone step by step, hand in hand, how to treat you right, how to care for you, how to love for you. That is something that comes naturally. If they truly have affection for you, if they truly have something like a genuine connection with you, if they feel it, it will show, and you don't even have to say anything. They will do it. They will show it through their actions, show it through their words, show it through their physical language. It will be known. A person who leaves you confused and doubting the relationship, that is something that you need to consider stepping away from. I know that it's hard to believe that there's somebody out there who is your perfect match, but given the resources that we have in this generation that we grew up in, it's very limited and we're not fully equipped to grow a healthy relationship, and that's just the reality of it. But at the same time, everything is up to choice. Everybody has the agency to bring it upon themselves to become a better version of themselves and to learn how to handle these relationships. For those who don't want to work on anything at all, self-development, self-help, self-growth, I mean, what else can you do? You can only lead a horse to the fountain, but you can't make him drink. It all comes down to your intrinsic will and your how much do you want things to work. There's someone out there who will completely match your standard, who it may not be 100%. Don't be scared, don't be afraid to believe that it's out there, because there's 8 billion people in the world, and there's so many experiences that you're gonna go through in life, and it's just almost hard to miss what's meant for you. It's literally impossible. So don't let your fear consume you that it doesn't exist or real love doesn't, exist anymore. It's normal. You can have those fear, but you can't let it consume you, because like the past has already taken so much from you. Don't let it take more than it already has. Focus on the present and change your circumstances. If it means working on yourself and knowing, figuring out why you do the things that you do, and pinpointing your toxic traits and making sure that you work on them so that the next time you're in a relationship it doesn't come out, or at least give yourself the resources or the tool to be able to handle yourself, because everything is interconnected, right? You're not the person that you are merely because you choose to be like that. There are external factors, childhood experiences, young adult experiences, all of those play into part of like who you become to be in your identity. And like I said in a previous video, the person that we are surrounded with have a huge impact in the way that we make decisions in our relationship, in the way that we form opinions, and other things and other aspects in life. So it's really, really important to stay within yourself and get to know yourself, because we are just so highly interconnected with other people and our experiences that it's hard to really pinpoint and find out who you are amidst all of the things that you're going through in life. And it's not going to be easy work, right? It has a lot of there has to be a lot of conversations with yourself, and it's so easy not to go on that self-discovery path. It's so easy, but it's those who are committed to being a better person that will see the result and the outcome they want to see. It doesn't have to be about the whole soulmate concept. It can just be about, you know, being a good person and knowing how to commit. Commitment. Commitment is so hard for people to understand, especially in our generation. For me, growing up in the household that I grew up in, it was very monogamous. I grew up believing in this idea that there's only one person for me, and the person that I'm going to meet or date is going to be the person that I'm going to be marrying, I'm going to have a life with, have kids with. That is that's internalized in my brain. And I've mentioned this in a previous video. It's hard to face the reality that you're going to cross paths with multiple people, and those people sometimes are meant to teach you a lesson and leave your life. They're not meant to stay. And when you come from that internalized concept of there's only one person for you, it's really hard to believe in another person to exist for you, especially if you've gotten your heart broken by one person, the first person that you've experienced this love with. But you see, like, the concept of commitment is something that I've had to learn what it means for me. And I think this is like all a personal journey. But commitment is just a choice, at least in my opinion, in the way that I approach it, and also in my relationship. As I can believe that this person is meant for me. This person is meant to be in my life, and I can only do the hard work of trying to make sure that I do my due diligence to make this relationship work and to make it as healthy and stable as I can. But like I said, if the other person doesn't give back to you and is not on the same wavelength as you, more especially if they're not in the same level of commitment as you, then I don't think it's worth, furthering or putting more work in, because you can't put a pause on your life just because you're waiting for another person to come around. That's not fair for you and for the other person. I think it's just binding yourself to this verbal consent, verbal contract, as if you guys are waiting for each other to improve, blah blah. We'll wait it out, and we'll continue trying. I'm all for giving it your best shot and making sure that you've tried it. But if you've hit a really huge roadblock and that is it's taking more than it should be from your own personal life, this relationship is just draining the life out of you, then it's time to leave that relationship. And the power it takes to leave a relationship when you're so in love with that person is so incredibly empowering, but at the same time painful, because it is genuinely like one of the most difficult things that you can ever go through emotionally. But if you're able to go through that and make that single choice for yourself to prioritize your mental well-being and your dreams, your life, what else can you not go through? It's literally, I'm not going to put it close to grieving a death, but in a sense, it's grieving the death of a relationship, of the potential and the future and all of that. So even though it doesn't really amount to it, it's still a very significant amount of emotional pain and emotional growth. And take pride in that, the fact that you're able to gracefully exit a person's life because they weren't serving the things that you need in a relationship. That is incredible, I believe. Not a lot of people have the capacity in them to be able to walk away from a relationship because people get attached too much. to whoever they're with. It's hard to see the bigger picture. If you find that power to walk away, rejoice in that, be happy that you're able to, because at the end, like, there's so much growth for you. You always have to believe that there are bigger things for you out there than what's in this relationship that you have currently. And that is how you stay, I guess, detached from the relationship. It's never healthy to make one person your lifeline and, have them hold all of your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts. It's never safe. Only you can give that to yourself, and only you can be the safe place for all of those things. If you're currently going through that phase where you're sensing this doubt, hesitancy from your partner, really pay attention to the things that they're doing right now, because people have started talking about the concept of micro cheating, and in my world, something that I've discovered recently, micro cheating does not exist. They all mean the same thing because they all lead to the same outcome. They lead to trust issues and insecurities, and it's just they're all the same thing, right? Like, if your partner goes and goes to an event without you, and the person that they find attractive is there, that's a choice. That's a choice that they're putting themselves in a vulnerable space, and it's like tempting themselves. They're putting all these temptations in front of them, which is, if you were 100% committed, you wouldn't be, right? Correct me if I'm wrong with this, but I just think that it's a bunch of excuses, like, oh, we didn't talk, but we exchanged glances. I don't know, like, I just think that it's very disrespectful for your partner if you're doing that. Um, because, like, I mean, I am lucky to have these friends that are putting in a lot of work into themselves to become a better man. And not to give them a lot of credit, obviously they've had their fair share of mistakes, but I have guy friends who are really committed to the relationship that they're in, and it makes me want to believe that there's, someone out there for me who will do the same thing. So, if you're with somebody who leaves you confused, leaves you in your room having anxiety attacks because you don't know when they're coming home, or you don't know what's going down over there, like, no, like, that's not something that your partner or the right person would be putting you through. So do yourself a favor and really reevaluate what this relationship means for you, and don't just think about the present moment. Think about long term, the bigger picture. How is this relationship going to serve you? Because everything that you have is a resource. Your time is a resource. Your emotions are a resource. Think about all of those things going down the drain because you are choosing to stay with somebody who no longer matches the interests that you have. And that's okay. People have a hard time accepting the fact that people change in a relationship, but they do. In the same way that you do, the same way that they do, That's inevitable. People are not done growing. There's always so much so much questions to be answered about yourself, so much things to discover about yourself. And you don't just think about that in terms of yourself. Think about how it is for the other person. Don't be so try to be more open-minded. Put yourself in other people's situation. What would be good for them? What would be good for me? And it takes so much maturity to be able to choose to go on your own ways and grow separately than to stay and eventually destroy everything that you guys have worked for. Stop believing in the fantasy that they're gonna, be better, whatever. Sometimes it takes, being away from that person to learn their lesson. And even at that point, why would you want to stay in a relationship with somebody that chose to be with that chose to go after something else than you? Like, why? That's just doing a disservice to yourself. And it's just, I feel like it's just gonna do more damage. Like, it's just gonna ruin what beautiful thing you shared in the beginning. So sometimes it's better to let go and never reopen the chapter again. And that's also okay. A lot of people are just intrinsically sexually motivated. Like some people, that is their set point. And for them, no matter how emotionally invested they are to somebody, so long as somebody who is fancier, somebody who is brighter, shinier, the better, newer thing, um, so long as somebody like that is presented in front of them, all of that emotional investment goes out the window, right? Because their set point is to think, from a like another form of motivation. It's not about being, growing emotionally with this person. That's not what's in their head. Um, and you can blame it on that instead of blaming it on the person. They just don't have enough, resources. They don't have enough maturity to be able to choose what's logical. And sometimes it's just, that's a mind trick that you can use in order to cope better when somebody leaves you. But I think your life will be so much easier if you focus on your own little garden. If somebody doesn't want to be in the same boat as you, so be it. So be it. Let them go, because honestly, like, I can do so much better. Like, I can be putting all of these hours into something else that will elevate my lifestyle, elevate my identity, the people around me, the people that I actually care about. There's so many more things that I can be doing instead of moping around and crying for this one person who couldn't meet, unfortunately, the things that I needed in a relationship. And that's okay, because somebody else out there is reserved for me. And I choose to believe that, because I don't want to be the type of person that is so closed off emotionally that I'm not giving other people the opportunity to see what I have to offer. And that's just unfair to other people, and especially to myself, because I'm not giving myself the opportunity to feel the same way that I felt before I was hurt. I just think it's not fair. Yes, you may be experiencing so much emotional pain right now, but at the same time, you're building yourself this resilience against all of these emotional pains that is ahead of the road. You know, don't think that you're safe just because you've experienced it once and you've come out of it and you're all better. It's gonna come again. We're just being realistic here. But what matters is that you know that you have the resources and the tools to pick yourself up again and be better and to continue working on yourself. Like, once you have the tools and the ways to take care of yourself, it's just gonna get easier from there. Like, this external factors are not gonna go away. They're gonna keep coming at you. That's just life. But like I said, if you're equipped, it's gonna go by not as difficult as it was in the beginning. For the right person, you will make it work, and for the right person, they will make it work. I think a lot of people think about this one-sidedly, and it's really important to talk about the fact that yes, you can put all of your effort into making a relationship work, but at the same time, for them, if it's not the right relationship, they're not going to make it work. And sadly, that is, again, the reality of it. Being more open-minded, this is something that I want to talk about in another video, is like breaking away from the things that you know. Someday you'll realize that, wow, like, I have strayed away so much from what I have known when I was a little kid, and you're just gonna understand that that's the reality of it. It may be hard to wrap around your head that there's not just one person here for you. Fear is gonna come, your judgment is gonna be clouded the next time another opportunity for you to form a new relationship. But like I said, never stop believing, and never let the past take more than what it already has. Focus on the present, and focus on the fact that you've grown so much and you have new resources to use to be able to make this relationship work. It's just trial and error. You meet one person and you take what you learn from them, and you grow as a person. This is controversial, but this is something that I've always believed, that every person you meet is an experience. You meet them there's so much life around them that gets introduced to you, and that's already so many things to learn from and so many things to take away from. And I think the most important thing that have really carried me throughout my life is just being open-minded to experiences and taking lessons away from negative experiences, especially because, I can let those negative experiences, be a consuming fear, but I can also reinterpret them in my mind as needed to happen in my life in order for me to grow and be where I need to be. I'm going to end with, you know, everybody has the power, everybody has the agency to change their circumstances. Maybe you just haven't found it right now, but it is in you, and you have to believe that it's in you. It all starts with just thinking about it, ruminating it, believing it, working on it, and then seeing the results. So I just think that it comes so much easier to navigate your life once you're able to come to the realization that you also have that power as much as other people do, because so much of our life is just so focused on other people and not much about ourselves that it's easy to feel that everybody else is in control of our lives, when that is absolutely not the case. You just haven't connected with that power yet. With that being said, be selective of the people who gets to experience your love. Stop waiting to be selected. Be the one to select the people who will be the best of interest to you, because you are so, so special, and you don't ever stop believing that everybody is special on their own ways. And you'll eventually meet somebody who is as special as you, who meets your quirks, your personality. Just be patient and it will come to you. And always remember that you have the power, you have the agency to change your circumstances. And with that, I had a really fun time. It's just so much fun to be able to talk about these things. I hope you were able to take away something from this episode, even if it's something little, or at least it was a nice company to have, because I know I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm alone, and they're just such a great company to have. So whatever this video meant to you, I'm happy that it reached you. I'm gonna start using the community page more if you'd like to engage there. Like I said, I'm not on Instagram right now, so I have a lot of free time and I really want to put in a lot of energy into this channel and growing it, and just having something of my own besides the things that I do for society, which is working. I don't know when I'll be releasing another video, but until then, you guys stay safe, and yeah, bye.